eyes and the heart. So it's a really good one. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Your research is impeccable.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
impressive.
Thank you, sir.
And I was struck by the similarities between the symbolism and clues that you found in the Bible that we see in the Federal Triangle. We see, remember Clinton's first speech where he talked about force the spring? George W. Bush goes around with the horn salute.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see a relationship with those clues coming from the Rosicrucians, which mandated that you give the common man clues? I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, the Rosicrucians were a secret society taken over by the Illuminati, and they had a mandate that in order to survive or in order to fulfill their obligation, they had to give you clues. And I claim all these things that you found were put there to satisfy this requirement, that they did this, that they gave the common man some clues to what's going on.
Yeah. Well, and this is the time of revelation, so maybe the clues are becoming more abundant. At least I hope so. And we're going to have eyes to see, thanks to a lot of work by people like yourself and others that are bringing this forward. So,
The Illuminati.
the Illuminati. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a meditation practice, and would you describe it if you do?
I do. I meditate on sacred images. And the reason why is because according to the icon makers who created these images of transfiguration, according to the Tibetans who created the images of the rainbow body, they use phrases like the image itself will show you the way, and you can enter through the image. And the belief is that through contemplation, through meditation, and ultimately reflection on these images, that the energy of a transfigured Jesus, of a resurrected Jesus, Jesus' glowing rays, the Tibetan rainbow body, that energy gets imprinted on your energy field. And through one pointed meditation on these images, suddenly it clicks and you're in it. In fact, when the Tibetans go to teach the Dalai Lama the secrets of the rainbow body, the great perfection, there are no words, there are no meditations. It's all taught in symbols and in visual imagery, in paintings, in the secret temple behind the Potala Palace. So that's what I do, and I encourage people to incorporate that into their own path. And on my website, you can see examples of that, and I'll have more information on that soon. My wife has actually started creating artwork called Sacred Reflections of this imagery so that you can have it, because the concept is our soul becomes what it beholds. And so if you're holding the energy of these images, like some of the ones we looked at today, you become it. And it sounds simple, but there's a whole neuroscience behind this now. Mirror neurons is the name of the science. They're proving this at UCLA here, that our body, our mind and brain can't tell the difference between a real and an imagined experience. So if I'm looking at an image of Jesus transfiguring here, at some level, my body is responding to that imagery. And we are naturally hardwired to transfigure or to morph into light beings. What we need is that light. We need the inspiration to show us the way. And that's what this imagery is. So, good question. Thank you.
Anyone over here?
Anyone? Yeah, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello. Are you familiar with the blue spiral that was over Norway? I think it was a couple years ago. And
Yeah.
do you believe it was a Russian missile test?
No. He's asking about the blue spiral over Norway. It's funny. I predicted that, in a way. Back then I had just released Freedom's Gate, Decoding the Secrets of America's Temple of Ascension, the U.S. Capitol, which is, in fact, what it is. The gentleman's talking about the Rosicrucians and Illuminati putting the clues for ascension in front of the common man. Well, here it is. It's all in the dome of the U.S. Capitol. There's a painting in that dome called The Apotheosis of George Washington that shows the founding father on a rainbow in a heavenly scene. He's actually on a rainbow, and he's encircled by a ring of 72 stars that I call a... Thank you. I didn't call it that. You did, right? It's a Stargate. And so here he is. He's in his ascended body. The painting is called The Apotheosis of George Washington, and I went through a couple hours of all the symbolism in that. And I get home, and the very next week I get this link to a New World Order article talking about Lord Christopher Monckton, who said, the apotheosis is at hand. The New World Order is here. And he's referring to the Oslo, or the Oslo conference, the environmental conference that was coming up within the next couple of weeks after that. And I'm thinking, I'm an expert on the word apotheosis. It means to deify. It means to transform from a man to a God-man. And it has nothing to do with the way this gentleman is using that word. And so it really caught my attention. It's like, why is he misusing this word? Or is he, in fact, trying to say something by getting people's attention by using that word? So I go into this whole scenario where I'm following this, and I say, well, wait a minute. The apotheosis is about deification. He's saying the New World Order is here. In the Christian context, the New World Order is when you have this bad guy, satanic kind of guy running the world and us into the ground. But there's some pushback. Moses and Elijah manifest on the planet in order to challenge this figure. And so this guy is saying that this fast-talking Antichrist is showing up at the Oslo conference, and that this new environmental accord represents this New World Order. And I'm saying, well, if that's true, then we should start looking for Moses and Elijah. And in fact, the last time we saw Moses and Elijah was at the transfiguration of Jesus, when he's standing in front of this blue spiraling portal. And Moses and Elijah manifest on either side. So what I said 10 days before that thing appeared, I said, well, if this is true, what this guy is saying, then we want to start paying attention and looking for a blue spiral. And sure enough, a blue spiral manifested. So she's telling me I have no more time. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you again.